When you order ahead in the McDonald's app, you can pull up and get your favorites faster. You've tapped into that wise old saying, stay ready and you won't have to get ready. Order ahead in the McDonald's app to save time. At participating McDonald's.
December is exciting with all the major sports that are in action, including the college football playoffs ready to kick off soon. BetOnline is your #1 destination for all your sports wagering info, including news for pro football, basketball, and hockey this season. With up-to-the-minute sports wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions, BetOnline is the top spot for everything pro and amateur sports, plus MMA to international soccer. Head to the website today on your mobile phone or desktop to stay updated on all the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Educate, empower, enable, impact. Thank you for tuning in to That Will Never Work podcast, where we share inspiring information and personal experiences related to business and the entrepreneurial journey from those who are leaders in their respective field. Now, here is your host, author and business coach, Maurice.
Thank you all very much for tuning in today. I have a lovely show coming to you today. I need each and every one of you to follow this young man. All the interviews, all the information he provides is great information, but it's not a teachy space, if you will, but you get a lot out of it because of the way it's presented to you. He hosts 2 podcasts, the Stuff I Never Knew Trivia Game Show podcast, which, as he said in another podcast, it keeps getting longer every year, right? And then the Rise and Outshine using AI, passionate about creating engaging content, and have generated over 40 million organic views on YouTube and TikTok. I just want y'all to know that, some of the ideas that I've heard from this young man, he is really outside the box. I didn't think about having a game show as a podcast, but that's a great idea, though. But I want you to introduce to each and every one of you to Jeff. Jeff, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you so much for having me. And in truth and being transparent, the young man comment, I'm 2 years away from getting my AARP card, so I'm not as young. I'm going to be full transparency here.
No, that's a little bit. That's fine. I mean, I guess I don't know what's the real age for AARP, but
50. Yeah.
I mean, okay, so I know because my wife just she just got her card the other day.
Yeah, I'm waiting for $5 matinees on Tuesdays at the movies.
I know that's
Those
right.
benefits to getting old.
So that means I'm 3 years away from that. But I thank you for coming on, man. I'm looking forward to this show today. But let me ask you a question. Can you kind of tell us your journey into the field of digital marketing?
Yeah, well, this goes back turn of the century in 2001, 2002. I grew up a big skateboarder. I grew up, just skateboarding everywhere. I'd get dropped off in some random town. I'd skate until my parents came back after work and picked me up. And I would just love skateboarding. And I started selling skateboards out of my parents' basement in 2001. And kids were coming to the house at all hours of the night. They would come in to buy skateboards, and it became like a problem.
Really?
And I was like, well, I got to figure out how to get out of the basement of my parents' house. And I started a store, and I started e-commerce at the time. And Google AdWords was just coming out. I was buying, skateboard deck terms for a nickel. It was amazing. You can't do that anymore.
No.
But I had to learn how to do it, right?
Okay.
I had to figure out, how do I get what I'm doing in front of people so I can ship skateboards all over the world. And I spent the next 8 years doing it. And I went through this major expansion in 2007.
Okay.
And I didn't know, I was a kid, right? I was like, I didn't know what was happening. And apparently there was some sort of housing crisis brewing. And as I leveraged all this debt to expand into manufacturing, I just watched my sales drop 30% a month every month for 6 consecutive months. I got wiped out. I had too much debt and I had no sales coming in. And then people started asking me questions like, what did you do when you were there? Oh, how do you build a website? How do you make a YouTube video? How do you update this? How do you make this change? How do you And I was like, oh, well, that's easy. You just click a button, you do this, you do that. And they're like, whoa, I don't know anything about that. And it turned out that those 8 years of that skate shop was the best education I've ever received. I was
Really?
in the trenches, I was doing the work, and I was just grinding out, testing things and publishing things and trying new things. And
Okay.
I developed, like Liam Neeson, I developed a very particular set of skills. And I am insanely passionate about digital marketing and the science and the test. It's part art, part science. And that led me to my career there. For the last 13 years, I've been a marketing director for an auto group, a tremendous family here in Western Pennsylvania. I've been fortunate enough to lead their marketing on the digital side for the last 13 years. I'm still going strong there, and I do love it.
Nice.
But I think what we're going to get into a little bit later is, where my evening passion is. I have something a little different I do at night.
Right. Well, one of the things that was very interesting in doing my research, right, and when you talk about when you first start off with your skate shop, it doesn't have to deal with digital marketing, but it was just the idea from your father, I believe, about getting the building.
Did I ever tell this story? Oh my goodness!
So
how did you get that question? Did I put
no. I
this
mean,
was
again, just doing my research, right?
Yeah, this is a great. Here's the story of how I got the building. And again, I was I was much younger. That was 23 years ago, right? And we were looking for a place because Dad's like, gotta get out of the house. Like, you can't have this many kids can't keep coming over to the house. And so we found this building, and there was just like a for sale sign on it, but it was a dead number. It wasn't even until like the realtor didn't even exist anymore. And we tracked down the owner, and my dad said, hey, we know who it is. Go just get a meeting with them and tell him you'll give him $3,000. This is like and it's a 40 feet by 100 foot. So it's a 4,000 square foot 2-story building. So it's 8,000 square feet. My dad says, go offer him, get a meeting and offer him $3,000. So I do. The guy throws me out. He's like, get out of here. I don't want anything to do with you. But then the guy calls me back and he says, hey, listen, I was thinking maybe 18,000, but the lowest I can go is $11,000. And we're like, yeah, we'll take it. So I bought that building for $11,000.
Nice.
It was one of the first negotiations I ever did. And it was just my dad's like, just go lowball the guy and see what he wants.
Right.
And we ended up, I'll show you the pictures after, or I'll share them with you. You'll be like, you bought that building for $11,000?
Wow. Really? So the reason why I brought it up, because I think that's a great story just for the listeners to know that, hey, you know what? You never know where an opportunity is going to come up. And because it started off in very early stages of where you were, I just want to share that real quick. But I need, whoever's listening and paying attention to this, go and pay attention to Jeff. I'm telling you, you got a lot of nuggets out there to, how to figure this stuff out. So just going into where you talk about even being in auto, just give us some ideas of just how you've been able to change marketing to some degree over the years, just with them. The idea of open, unboxing cars and things, especially things like that idea. You don't think of unboxing a car, but just that idea, like those out of the box ideas. How do you come up with those type of things?
Yeah, I'm sure if you're sitting at home, you're thinking about what a car dealer is. You're watching your favorite show, and then it cuts to this 30-second commercial where they're screaming, we got the best prices, we're family owned and operated, lowest prices in 70 miles, we won't be beat. They're just screaming price and offer at you. And we looked at that, we're like, who is interested in this?
Right.
Who's watching and cares about, like, if every dealer is screaming price offer, what's the value? What separates you from that? And what we started to do is we obviously looked at YouTube, and we said, what's working on YouTube? And we knew right away dealers that put their commercials on YouTube. And you can go to any car dealer anywhere in the country, look up their car commercial, and it has 4 views. Unless they put ad dollars on it, then you'll see it has 20,000 views and no likes and no comments. That's a red flag. So we okay, well, nobody's watching commercials on YouTube, and people are consuming content on YouTube. We have to stop making this content about us. We have to make it about the people who are watching. And what do people who drive cars do? Well, they push buttons and they pull levers and they fold down seats, and they love hidden compartments. They love cup holders. So we started a branded series called First Drive. Okay. Which was our first impression of a vehicle. Like, we're not telling you about horsepower and miles per gallon. we're showing you the features
Mm-hmm.
that you use in your car every day, but here it is in a new car or presented in a new way.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you do. You pull levers, push buttons, and that's what we do. And we changed that. This was maybe 2013, 2014. We changed that philosophy at our dealership.
Mm-hmm.
And we came in the next morning after the weekend. I never saw hockey stick growth like that. Just the concept of, okay, we're on to something. This isn't about us. It's about the customer. Stop screaming price, offer, inventory. That nobody cares. Nobody cares about that. Show them what they care about. And people do love, you mentioned unboxing,
Right.
This peeling the cellophane, because most people don't see what a car looks like when it comes in. It's covered in paper. The seats are covered. The mirrors are covered. The dashboard is all covered in plastic, and taking that off is so interesting to people. We do it in slow motion, almost like we have a public television station here called PBS.
Okay.
And they do these flyover videos of the city in real high definition, but it's real slow motion. And that's what we started to do. We just start to peel it off and just the anticipation of, will the noise end, or, will come off cleanly. And those have gone crazy on YouTube. Millions and millions of views on TikTok for those ones.
Right.
And the other content that you mentioned, we're hit 40 million, or it's organic views for a car dealer.
Right.
It's one of my most proudest accomplishments that
nice
40 million people have watched this content about these cars in just a small little town outside of Pittsburgh.
Wow, that's nice. So I'm thinking about the peeling piece, because I don't know about the peeling piece. You go see a car, it's just already, unboxed technically, right? So I wonder, what is that type of experience like? Because I guess the closest I would be opening up my new iPhone, right? So what is that experience like for a customer to have for something like that?
Yeah, to see it, that's because it's something they're not used to, right? You go to a car dealer, you go to the showroom, and the car is detailed. There's not a fingerprint on it. It's glossy. The wheels are primed and everything. But to see a car just, it just drove 500 miles on the back of a tractor trailer, and it's covered in paper, and like you've never seen a vehicle like that. It's catching them off guard. It's kind of like a pattern interruption. They're seeing something that they're not used to, and we now have people coming to us asking for that experience where they can now remove they want to remove the paper. Like, it's my car. Right. Why don't I get to remove the paper and pull the bags off of the seats and the headrest? Like, people want to do it, and we're missing an opportunity. For a car dealer, it's very difficult to stop a car from getting detailed. I can explain it all. We don't want to go into it, but people want that experience now, though. So we've created something that people have seen now on the internet, and they want to come in like, hey, I want to peel the plastic off of my car. And it's just it's the wildest thing to think that would influence people to change their behavior, how they buy a car.
I would love to have that type of experience, because you see it on, like you said, you see it on a truck passing by you on the highway, things like that. Like, wow, but for you to explain it, it sounds like a totally different experience.
Yeah. Yeah. How does it get that showroom shine? Well, it starts by peeling off the plastic, and people just love it.
So staying on the idea of experience, right? What is the experience that people have being on your game show?
Oh, well, it's a lot of fun. I'd love to have you as a guest. We've done 150 episodes. The last 50 we started producing for television, so that it airs in 6 states, 300,000 homes. It's on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel, and each week 3 players, from around the world, they call in, and we're going to battle it out over. I say 3 rounds of trivia over quotes, because I play silly games like who said this? Was it Keanu Reeves or Barack Obama? And I'll read you a quote. Okay, and they both have very similar quotes, and you have to tell me who said that. Was it Keanu or Obama? And it's we play games like that, lots of fun. It's lighthearted. We're just having a good time. And then in between the first and second round, if you come on, you get to promote yourself, all your links. We talk about where you're from and how to connect with you. And then I immediately, if I can, I'll put you. Oh, you might not hear this. Did you probably didn't hear that. I put you in the hot seat. That was the hot seat button. And then you sit in the hot seat for a few questions, and then we go to a final video round where I just try to confuse the heck out of everybody.
Well, question is, so how did you even come up with this idea of this virtual game show, and then eventually a in-person game show, whatever? So how did you come up with that idea?
I started it in 2015. Was when I really started podcasting, and there was this platform that came around called Blab, and not many people know, but if you ever meet somebody who knows about Blab, you watch their face light up, because it was the first 4-in-a-box live streaming video where within 2 minutes you would go live and have 30 to 50 people just show up in your room watching your video. And it was incredible. Things were dinging and props were flying, and you could do certain commands to like change the whole, you could, interrupt people's whole games. And I started thinking like, well, if a podcast, does it just have to be just audio? Is it just my voice on an RSS feed distributed, to iTunes? But could it be more? And then we started this video experience where we were playing trivia with people in California and Oregon and Florida.
Nice.
And all of a sudden we were like, oh, well, we're connecting with people. We're laughing. We're having a good time. That we could extract that audio from the video that we're recording. And well, that could be a podcast. But what if we didn't want to just do it, virtually? Could we do that at a coffee shop or, a local bar or a restaurant or a school? We've done fundraisers. So we started doing these shows in front of live audiences.
Okay.
And then recording it and extracting that audio for a podcast. But then we went one step further and we're like, what if we did all this all the time at the same time, where we go to a live location, we have a physical audience, and we have a virtual audience playing along at home. And that's the next iteration of where I'm heading. I'm looking for a physical space right now to like build a stage.
Wow.
So I can have an in-person audience, a virtual audience. And some of the events I've come up, you're going to see little bits and tastes of what's coming with the interactive element that I have coming up.
So as I stated earlier about the name, right? How it keeps evolving.
Oh, yeah.
But there was a reason why you call this stuff I never knew. So you want to explain to the people why you started off with that?
Yeah, initially it was supposed to be themed. There was another great podcast. It wasn't a trivia game show, but it was called Good Job Brain. They're still around. They're phenomenal. And I was literally going to just do a copy of their show. And because each week they do kind of like a theme, and they, all 4 of them would get together and kind of like do their version of whatever that theme meant to them. And so initially it was stuff I never knew, like about apples, or stuff I never knew about cars. And the whole show would just be about apples or cars. And that was the initial idea. I was like, oh, I'll just have 3 people come over my house. We'll do stuff I never knew about pizza, and we'll just all do like 4 people. But then I realized I don't have 4 friends that can come over and sit with me. So at the same time, that's when that Blab platform came around. I was like, oh, well, what if I didn't need people at my house? I could be these people could be anywhere,
right?
And come to me. And that's how I'll just do this as a trivia show. And if you look at the early episodes, they're all themed. Like there's stuff I never knew about Christmas songs, and stuff I never knew about 80s music, and stuff I never knew. I can't remember, but they were all themed.
Right.
And it was a lot of fun doing that. But it was, things evolve, and you get better ideas, and you get new concepts, and it's been a pleasure project working on, and just seeing it grow over the years.
So with taking that type of concept that's totally outside the box, even though it's based off of something you might have seen, been influenced, and you've been able to have it influence your podcast, the way you're promoting yourself, things like that. How would you encourage the listeners today to implement some little tricks or anything that you might have done over the years, just idea-wise?
Like any idea?
Yeah, any idea. It doesn't matter.
Well, the first thing on getting any idea and seeing something tangible is starting. Because I will tell you, it took me 4 years to really understand. Like, I didn't even who wants to hear my voice? Like, I didn't think people would like the sound of my voice. I'm from Pittsburgh. I'm lispy, and I was afraid to take the first step and record myself. I didn't want to hear me. I didn't want to see me. I hated it. I know that. But at the end of the 4 years, how many shows did I produce? And it was 0. I hesitated and I second guessed myself, and then I did it. And then when I did it, I did one, and it was my sister and my friend on the very first episode. And I couldn't tell you, I had so much fun that I was like, oh, we'll just do it again. Like, but in order to see the first one, I had to do the first one. And hesitation is the worst thing. And to this day now, eight years into this, I can't even tell you how many compliments I get about my voice. I never, ever would have thought people would say, like, there's people who have written into me, they fall asleep to my voice. They listen to my trivia show to fall asleep, which I don't know is a compliment or not. Right. But like, so I get compliments now on my, which I missed out on 4 years of that because I was afraid, because I hesitated, and I hate not hate myself, but I really regret not doing something sooner because of these things that I thought about. They were just things that I thought about. Right. Because I realized my saying is no one cares. And I don't mean it in a negative way, but no one cares about me the way I do. No one's thinking how I sound or how I look. They have bills. They got to get their kids to soccer practice. They just want 30 minutes to get away from all that. Right. And I'm able to provide something. And anybody listening at home, I promise you have something to provide to somebody equally as way more important than my silly trivia show. But you have to do the first thing, and you just do one step, whatever the first step is to get on your journey. Just do it. Yeah, just do the first one, and you'll be so glad 30 days from now that you did the first thing. That's a guarantee, a Jeff Revilla guarantee.
Jeff, I thank you, man. I thank you for that last little nugget as we start to close out this show. Where can people find your show, or social media or anything like that?
Yeah, follow me on LinkedIn. I have a lot of fun over there, mostly goofing on the automotive people. Revilla, Revilla, Jeff Revilla. The trivia show is stuffineverknew.com. My big passion project, we were talking about these events and creating events, and I'm helping other people do their own events, sell their own tickets. I can go anything from your idea to fulfillment. I can handle it all. You can list your events for free. There's no charge. You can do RSVPs. And I'll explain it all to you over on the website, but it's my company is called Paduty, Poduty, Paduty.com. We say dates and deets at Paduty.com. Check it out. Look at what we're doing over there. All this live entertainment and live shows and live podcasts. That's where my passion is. I love producing shows. I love making people shine on screen. Nice. And check out what we're doing. I think you'll have some fun. And if I could just do one little tiny plug, I don't know when this will air. Go ahead. When I was talking about interactivity, I have a family game night coming up on November 10th. It's free because it's the first one. It's the pilot episode. And my goal is I'm going to run a live trivia show. You can watch on your screen and play on your phone, and there'll be real-time scorekeeping between your phone and the screen. There'll be a scoreboard, a leaderboard. I'm going to start to get into prizes and stuff, but I'm trying to build out something for families. We're joking about AARP and me going to the matinee, but I have a family of 4. If I want to go to the movies now, minimum, I'm out $80 for tickets, and then probably another, 50 to 60 for popcorn and drink. I'm trying to build a third place for families to go. It's eventually this event will be a $10 event for your entire family. Your entire household can go for $10. We're going to do an hour and a half to 2 hours of trivia on a Friday night. Okay. A nice, fun, clean, family-friendly place to go. I'd love for you to check it out. It's totally free. I'm not even asking anybody for any money. It's if you go over to Paduty.com, just check out Family Game Night, and I hope to see you there on the 10th. Cool.
I will try. All this information will be in my description for the show. So, and I'll tag you and everything, so that way we can kind of collaborate with that. Jeff.
Awesome.
Most definitely.
Yeah, thank you.
So, but I thank you for coming on today. But before I let you go, I ask my famous question I ask every guest, right? My would you rather question.
Okay.
Would you rather choose a fork in the road or 3 doors?
Ooh. See, I like the fork in the road. And I like it because there's 2 reasons.
Okay.
Depending on what the situation is. You either have some sort of sense of the way people have gone, but you also have this idea that, maybe I can blaze my own path. Or, there's usually one path that's a little more worn, but why? I want to know why the other one isn't worn, and what can I do, to make it just as good or make it the best path possible.
Wow, that's a very insightful thought. I appreciate that. People like to peak, that type of thing. But I didn't even think about how worn out the street might be. The little details, man. But I appreciate you, Jeff. I thank you very much for coming on today.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This was a blast.
Sure, no problem. And continue to listen to That Will Never Work podcast. Again, all his information will be in the description. Talk to you later.
Thanks for listening. Find us on social media at Chisholm Group LLC and check back weekly for new episodes. Until next time, that will never work, or will it?
Wake up at Holiday Inn Express to a can't-miss breakfast that's free with every stay. Count on all the hot, fresh coffee you need and an incredible breakfast buffet that has something for everyone, like eggs, cinnamon rolls, and even hot, fresh pancakes with all the toppings you crave. Next time, do yourself a favor and stay at a Holiday Inn Express with a can't-miss breakfast that's free with every stay. So, when you wake up at Holiday Inn Express, you'll wake up happy, a part of IHG Hotels and Resorts.
Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.